What's good, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with our mock draft Monday, coming to you a little late because of some internet connection issues yesterday. Bright and early Tuesday morning, bringing you this video though, and let's hop right into it. 3 wide receiver draft, PPR from the 12 spot was randomly selected. Let's go. Fantasy draft. Let's hope this loads. Come on, give it to me. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll respond as always. Here we go. So we have the 12th pick, like I said, so we'll be going back to back. And this draft started off Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, Jamar Chase, and Joe Mixon. Let's take a look who's still remaining on the board. As always, I do like to draft from the tiers. These are obviously not my tiers, but I think tiers in general, comparing running backs and wide receivers amongst each other, makes more sense because you're really looking for marginal benefit, especially in these early rounds. This is a pretty easy pick for me. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson with this pick. Obviously, a back-to-back picks here. But, he's a top 3 wide receiver to me in this draft, and I'm going to snag him there without much second thought. Okay, Alvin Kamara is very tempting to me at this point in the draft at that 13th pick. To me, it's basically in between him and Devontae Adams. I'm actually going to take Alvin Kamara here. I just think with the addition of Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, Michael Thomas to that offense, basically, they're going to get a whole lot better. I don't think they're going to, just say Jameis aired out, but I think it's going to take some pressure off of Alvin Kamara and put him in a better position to succeed in fantasy. So I'll draft him there. So I started off with Jefferson and Kamara. Really like getting Jefferson there. I think Kamara is a good value as well. Moving on to this third round, some solid wide receivers on the board. Really glad I snagged Jefferson. Honestly, glad I went with one of each so far in this draft. George Kittle's still on the board as far as tight ends go, but it's pretty picked over in the wide receiver and running back department, at least so far. But there is one big name running back I still see on the board that I want to invest in. We'll talk about him. I'm actually going to take him here. So it's the last pick of the third round. I'm going to take Ezekiel Elliott here. I think he's a great value where he's going in drafts currently when you can get him in the third round. Especially before that injury, he was very efficient for fantasy football. So I'm going to take him there. Some very, very interesting other names on this list. I think I am going to take, though, J.K. Dobbins, snag one more running back. Not a huge fan of any of the receivers left on the board currently, so I'm going to snag 2 running backs I really like to pair with Alvin Kamara and Justin Jefferson. Really great start so far to this draft to me. Okay, let's see. So none of the wide receivers I really wanted made it back to me. I was hoping I could get Courtland Sutton. Really would love to get him in that 5th round with this pick, but he's obviously been picked. No worries. Of the players remaining, definitely some interesting options. Elijah Mitchell still on the board. Travis Etienne still on the board. Obviously, you've picked some running backs so far. Let's take a look at what tight ends are still available. Darren Waller still on the board. He's a great pass catcher. Obviously, with the addition of Devontae Adams, I think he's going to lose some targets, but he's still, a very fantasy viable tight end. Um, Man, it's a little tough to take him this early in the 5th round, though. I'm actually going to take Rashad Bateman here. Really like his forecast for next year. I do think Mark Andrews is going to be the bona fide one in that team, but we saw, Marquise Brown had over 90 receptions and 1,000 yards last year. So there's a role that he could fill that could be very, very, very fantasy relevant. Um, Man, this next one might be a bit of a reach, but I'm going to take Mike Williams here in the 6th round. Really like him. Had a great year last year, especially to start the year. If he can give me anywhere close to what he was able to do at that beginning of the year, I'd be very happy with that pick. I just think he's falling a little too far. I think that was really good value for him in that 6th round. I think that's where he should probably be going, 6th, 7th round. So I might reach a little bit, but really wasn't a big, huge fan of a lot of the other players on the board at that point. Okay, as far as running backs go, there's 2 players I still do really like on this board out there. I am going to take Kareem Hunt, great running back depth piece. It's my 4th back. I feel like he's a guy who can actually start any given week, so I'm really happy with him there. And then I am going to take Christian Kirk. I just think with the contract that he was given, he's going to come out and play in that slot role for them this year, and he's going to be at the ball quite a bit, so I'm happy with taking him there. And then we'll see what our options look like in this next round. Here we go. Okay, tight end. I was hoping this guy would make it back to me. Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz, I really like because Michael Gallup tore his ACL. Is going to start the year on the on the he's probably gonna miss 2 to 3 games this year. We see last year 78 receptions, 800 yards, and that was with Amari Cooper on the team, Michael Gallup on the team for a big chunk of the year. Obviously, Gallup will be back, but now it's CeeDee Lamb, and I think he is the number 2 option, especially to start the year. I think he could get off to a hot start, so I'm very excited about him with that draft selection. Taking a look at some of the other names here, there's one wide receiver I am pretty interested in. I'll take Kenny Gallaudet here. I just think in the 10th round, he's a guy who's getting paid a lot of money, has a chance to bounce back. I still profile him as probably the number 1 wide receiver on that football team. Doesn't have a great quarterback position with Daniel Jones, but we're getting that 10th round range. He's got a lot of money. He's very talented. Should have every opportunity to produce. So I will take him there. And I will take Deshaun Watson at this point in the draft. I think he is a good value. Obviously, it'll, whatever his decision is that the league makes about his suspension or lack of, I guess, I would expect him to be suspended though this year for at least a good chunk of time. But if not, he'd be a great quarterback, and I would probably just snag somebody like Trey Lance or somebody to fill in there for me. Okay, I will snag Tim Patrick here. You know what? Actually, yeah, I will snag Tim Patrick. I just think he is a good wide receiver. He's got Russ. He could be the number 2 profile there, especially if, Jerry Jeudy, who knows what ends up with his legal situation currently. So getting him at this point in the draft, I think it's a great value. Rashad White just went. He's a guy I talked about in my running back rankings video. I was very happy about him. Would love to draft him in rookie drafts and, use him as a guy when Fournette is done, although he does have a nice contract situation currently. Taking a look at the rest of these backs, I'll take Deontay Foreman here. I think he is a handcuff to Christian McCaffrey. We've seen him struggle with injuries in recent years. So I'll lock him up. Darrell Williams, an interesting option in Kansas City, but with the addition of Ronald Jones, I'm not super interested. I think I'm actually going to take Will Fuller here. I think he could go to a team like the Cleveland Browns, depending on Deshaun Watson's situation. I think that might be what he is waiting on. Or maybe he goes to a Green Bay Packers, a team like that, who needs more weapons. He could go, to an awful team. Who knows? But I'll take the swing on him at this point in the draft. And then I'll take the swing on Trey Sermon, actually. 3rd-round pick by the San Francisco 49ers last year. Don't have a ton of belief in him, but it's that point of drafts. And then with my last pick, I will take Donovan Peoples-Jones in Cleveland. Athletic comp was A.J. Green coming out. I think he's a solid wide receiver. Had Shea Patterson in college, and that's one of the reasons he struggled. If he's given that number 2 receiver role this year, I think he could be solid in it. So let's look over the team. We got Deshaun Watson, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Justin Jefferson, Rashad Bateman, Mike Williams, Dalton Schultz, J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt, Christian Kirk, Kenny Gallaudet, Tim Patrick, Deontay Foreman, Will Fuller, Trey Sermon, and Donovan Peoples-Jones. A little weak at wide receiver for a 3 wide receiver team, but I really do have a lot of faith in those top 3 guys. And I think, between Christian Kirk, Gallaudet, Will Fuller, and Donovan Peoples-Jones, I could find, and the waiver wire I can find another guy to fill in periodically. But really strong running backs on that team. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Until next time, this is Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.